Did you know that your bladder holds more than just urine? If you're thinking, what? Stick with me. When I learned this for myself a couple of years ago, it changed everything for me around my frequent urination and bladder pressure. In this video, I'm going to show you how suppressed emotions affect the bladder and how it contributes to OAB, leakage, or that dreaded sense of never feeling empty. And by the end of this video, you'll understand a secret key to bladder health that no one is talking about. Hi everyone, Ann Troopy here. Two quick things before we get into it. Number one, a like and a subscribe go such a long way to help these videos get seen by people who are struggling to manage their bladders. Second, if you are struggling with your bladder, like OAB, IC, UTIs, urinary leakage, and are looking for a place to connect with other like-minded individuals, I have a private Facebook group to offer encouragement and support. So click the link in the description and come join the Balanced Bladder from Within community. We would love to have you. Now let's hop over to a metaphor to bring this concept of the bladder holding more than urine to life. I'll be using this cup to represent the bladder and these stones to represent suppressed emotions. Ready? Yeah, you are.
Imagine this cup is your bladder. It's a container, a storage facility. And this cup can hold about 6.88 ounces or 195 grams of liquid. So this is your bladder full. And you're probably thinking, you fill your bladder and then you empty your bladder. And then you fill it again, maybe only a little bit. And then you empty it, etc. One thing to take into consideration is that our urine is energy because everything is energy. And the reality is our bladder holds other energies besides just urine.
It holds emotional energies, emotions that you may not have processed, emotions that you may not be aware of, or emotions that you may not want to feel because they're uncomfortable or they're difficult. And so what happens to those emotions is that they get suppressed and shoved down, and they often can get stored in the bladder, especially for women.
What does that look like? What does that mean that emotions get stored in your bladder, and why and how does it affect you? So let's look at this. Say you have an unprocessed emotion. We'll make it anger because it's red. And then you have another emotion, disappointment maybe. And another one, sadness. And another one, fear. We'll do a couple fears. Do you see how on the right side of the glass, there's already some overflow? The water is beginning to leak over the edge. We'll keep adding emotions, and we've had our first major leak.
As you can see, we have added so many unprocessed emotions that this container can now no longer hold the amount of liquid that it is capable of. Is this metaphor making sense? If it is, write emotions in the comments below.
So let's try this. We're going to empty some water. Oop, dripping. And also, you think that going to the bathroom, urinating, might empty your bladder, but the emotions are still stuck in there because urinating is not the same as processing your emotions. Now what happens? If you take the same amount of water that this cup is supposed to hold and pour it into this cup, overflow, that could look like bladder leakage. The other option is overactive bladder. You can't fill as much into this container before you feel like you need to go to the bathroom.
And the more emotions that you suppress and put into this container, the less space there is for the container to hold liquid or urine. So that creates that cycle of feeling or having to go to the bathroom because there isn't a lot of room, and so you're constantly needing to go. So you're going to keep going to the bathroom, and as you can see, there's still water stuck around the rocks, which can contribute to that sense of never feeling empty. You're going to feel like you need to go to the bathroom again because there just isn't enough space to hold the urine. So what can we do to create more space and better bladder health and a better relationship with our bladder?
One of my favorite things to do is to process these emotions. They don't have to stay in here, and we can create more energetic space by removing them. So one of the ways that we can remove them is by using different energy processing tools, different ways that we can process emotions.
Once I started processing suppressed emotions for my overactive bladder and bladder pressure, I started experiencing major shifts. And what that looked like for me was I could go outside for a walk or a hike and suddenly not be worrying about needing to find a bathroom or getting back to the house in time so that I could go to the bathroom. I could go on a car ride and not be stopping every 45 minutes to take a break and go to the bathroom. When I did go to the bathroom, I finally felt that feeling of empty. So often I would not have that, and I just felt like I constantly could go, even if it was a couple of drops. And when I finally realized suppressed emotions and started to process them and clear out more energetic space in my bladder, suddenly I felt like I could empty it more fully and then also hold my urine for much longer. Like my bladder suddenly had all this extra space and I was going hours even without having to find a bathroom, which was so freeing. Oh my gosh, it was a dream. And I started sleeping fully through the night. So I was getting up at least once a night, maybe twice a night for forever. And I was thinking, I do not want this to be my life forever. I would love to sleep through the night. And I finally got to a place where I can sleep through the night most nights now. Without having to get up. And that is so freeing to me as well because I can go to different places, spend the night at different places, and not be worrying about, okay, where is the bathroom? Am I going to be able to get to the bathroom in the night? So that's what it looks like for my life. So many more improvements that I'm not going to go into right now, but it's been incredible. And a great way to process the emotions is to know what's in there. Maybe maybe you're well aware of emotions that you've suppressed. And maybe you don't know, and that's okay. You can always ask your bladder. It knows.
And sometimes we're not going to get all of the emotions out. It's maybe unrealistic, and as humans, we are filled with emotions, and we are constantly going through emotions, feeling emotions, experiencing emotions, and that's okay. That's part of being a human, but it's realizing when your bladder is needing some more energetic space. So we have quickly cleared up some energetic space, and now we have room to fill it back up. As you can see, it can hold the 6.88 ounces or 195 grams of liquid. And what does that look like for your life?
Maybe it's worrying less about getting to a bathroom or less bladder leakage, which leaves you feeling dry or able to wear the clothes that you want, or less bladder pressure and you just feel more at ease. whatever it is for you, does it create more personal freedom? What does that look like for your life?
So that's why it's so important to understand how the bladder holds these energies, and why processing and exercising this practice with your bladder is so important.
Did this concept connect any dots for you? I'd love to hear in the comments. And be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Are you asking yourself, how do I figure out what emotions my bladder is holding? Or how do I process them to clear out space? Help me! Check the description below for my resources and links. I am always creating new things to help you out. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.